All right, so we are here in this rainy July, and we're moving into this place of beginner's mind, this place where we reclaim our hopefulness and our resilience and our ability to stay present fully and start the change from within, right? So we'll end the class, and I'd like to use our technology to screen share. So at the end of class, after our Shavasana and after we say goodbye, or not goodbye, after we bow to each other, I'd like to screen share you a little 2-minute video of Billy Collins reading his poem that's called Lanyard. And I think for many of us, we can remember what it was to be 10 years old at summer camp. And so his poem really speaks to that. And then it also speaks to what it is to be a parent. And I think many of you are parents or grandparents, or some of you even great-grandparents. And so it's a really lovely poem. So I'll do that at the very end in honor of all that. So let's go ahead and find our way to our tall, comfortable seat. And let your crown rise up, even as your tailbone descends down. And then we're just going to enter into observing our breath with that beginner's mind, with the joy and the wonder of what it is to be a child, or what it is to be new to this experience of life. And I'm going to mute everyone as we move into the meditation. Good morning, Jim. Glad you could make it. So go ahead and just tune into your own body and being. And just like this morning's fresh rain that freshened the air and brought everything clear and clean again. See if you can bring in an inhale that feels like that warm, nourished summer rain. And an exhale that just helps clear you out any of the debris, whether they be physical or emotional or mental, tensions or stresses, letting those dissolve into the breath. So as you continue to observe your breath, we move into our very traditional practice of mindfulness, embodied mindfulness, where we start to look at what is happening in your unique body this morning. And see if you can meet your body, this body you've known for so long, with beginner's mind. What is it to inhabit this body this morning? Where are the creaky bits? Where are the parts that want your attention? And perhaps how would this perspective of innocence or newness, this beginner's mind, how might that help you meet this familiar body? Perhaps in some new or interesting ways this morning. Take a few more slow cycles of breath for yourself. And then I want to just bring you back to the kind of mind, hopeful mind that you might have had when you were a 10-year-old child. So just going back in your memory to what it was to be at that age. What activities you might have done. What things were wondrous to you or awe-inspiring. And of course, memories are complicated things. So we're filtering for what it was to be awe-inspired as a child. And maybe that was a younger time period for you, or older. So perhaps you can catch hold of a memory where you really felt a sense of wonder in the world, a sense of awe. And then we'll let that memory be the fuel for this embodied practice of beginner's mind, of coming back to that fresh, new perspective, even on something very familiar, like our practice, our yoga practice. So let's seal in that embodied memory and bring the hands in prayer over the heart. And then let's begin our practice with the sound of one Om, taking a long, deep breath in here. And letting your head bow forward and your eyes begin to open, and lower your hands into your lap. And let's start by moving into the body. So you had this embodied memory of beginner's mind. So just see what it's like now to take that beginner's mind and meet your body with movement. And this is your own organic movement, meaning however you want to move. I often start with my shoulders and upper body, but you might start in another area that feels good to you. Maybe it's your hips or your knees or your feet, right? Just noticing which areas really want that freedom to move. And certainly the more time you spend with children, the more you remember what it is like to watch people who have a lot of freedom of movement, not a lot of inhibitions when it comes to moving their bodies, right? So such incredible teachers for those of us who get well trained and domesticated to only follow movement and not remember what it is, just to let it be free and open. So take a few more cycles of breath for yourself, just to let your free and open body move in any shape, and any large feels really good to you. And then we'll come back into moving as a group and starting perhaps with those shoulder heads if you haven't already, letting those shoulders move around, waking them up. And then let's move one hand on top of the shoulder head. And we'll just do one arm at a time, checking in with this arm. Oh, hi, good morning. Good morning. Go ahead and roll it the other way, wake it up. And then if it feels good to you to release the arm into a big circle, feel free to do that. If it feels better to keep it small and keep it in here, feel free to keep it on the shoulder head. And let's reverse direction, take that around. And I just want to pose this question to you of, besides this yoga class, how often do you give yourself a big range of motion like this in your day? And hopefully the answer is a few times or often. And if it's not, I want to give you full permission to really have full range of motion in this body. Let's go ahead and come to the other side, starting with that shoulder rolling around first, taking it around, and then hand on top of the shoulder head, rolling it around. Go ahead, roll the other way. And then freeing the arm, if that's interesting to you, taking it all the way around. Again, one shoulder, one arm might need more support. I think of training wheels and bicycles, right? That idea of just giving a little bit more support to something that is maybe healing or maybe relearning or learning a movement, right? So feel free to find a little extra support by altering the movement or making it smaller if that's helpful to you. And then if you'd like, hands on shoulder heads if you want to make it smaller, or hands big and wide, and let's take it all the way around, this big freedom, big range of motion. Stretching out right to your edges, again, of that comfort zone that is appropriate for you this morning. 1 or 2 more circles around. And then take the arms all the way up overhead, draw the shoulders down and on the back, and let's open and close the hands. And just wake up the hands, get some pulsing movement. And then slowly take that all the way down. And we'll roll around gently here. And then open and close hands, open and close hands, open and close hands as you come all the way up. And then big inhale into the mouth, and we're going to exhale on a ha. Do that again. Open and close hands, open and close hands, open and close. Just waking them up. Getting the wrists and the fingers and the hands online. Exhale big through the mouth. Let's take and roll the wrists around a little bit here. And then take elbows. And then shake it out. Give it a good shake. Maybe even shake all the way into the arms. Shake it out in front of you. Shake it down. Shake it around. Just helping bring some added circulation and blood flow into the arms all the way down. Now let's do the same for the legs. I'm going to tilt my computer down so you can see my feet better. Can't believe it's July and I'm still wearing socks, but here we are. So let's start by rolling one ankle around. Moving that foot around. Go ahead and roll the other way. We're just waking up the foot, waking up the toes, waking up the knee, and perhaps even the hip a little. Other side, let's roll it around. And then roll the other way. All right, I'm going to take off my socks here so you can see my feet a little better. If you have already taken off your socks, great. And if your feet are cold, feel free to leave them on. Let's go ahead and stretch out that right foot. And we're going to pretend that you're stepping on the accelerator and then you're taking your foot off. So we're going to point and flex, and point and flex, and point and flex. If you can, lift the leg up just a little bit and roll that ankle around. If it's easier to leave the heel on the floor and roll the ankle, feel free to do that. And roll the other way. And then drawing that leg in, second side, stretch it out and point and flex. And you can really articulate through the toes. I've recently been doing a lot of teaching of anatomy to an 8-year-old. So introducing him to his body, right? And you've got 20 little bones in each foot. So many little tiny bones and little muscles and tendons that really keep them all connected. So as you articulate through your foot, really feeling into all those. And then as you bring your heel back, you might roll that ankle around. Maybe lift the leg slightly. Go ahead and roll the other way. I have to tell you that they have way more fun ways of teaching anatomy to children than they do to adults, and I think they should use them in adult classes. Fun songs that teach you everything you need to know in 5 minutes. Go ahead and bring the legs all the way back in. We're going to take the knees a little wider here. So as wide as is comfortable for you, so medium or wide. And let's lift and lower heels. Drawing up. Lifting and lowering. And then let's see about inching the feet together slightly. We're going to roll toward the big toe side of your feet and the knees come together. And then we're going to roll toward the pinky edge side of your feet and the knees come wide. So warming up these hip creases, drawing in, opening out, And again, make this as small or as large as is helpful for your body. If this is not helpful for your body, of course, don't do it, or do a modified version. One or two more, just working these adductors, rolling in, rolling out. Last time, roll in, roll out. Go ahead and bring the knees nice and wide. Let's rock our soles here, side to side. So rocking over as much or as little as feels good to you. Getting a little side bend, getting a little knee opening, a little hip opening. When you find a side that feels good, go ahead and stay there. And maybe bring your other hand onto your thigh and give a little twist, looking up towards sky. And then come on back into center. Let's slowly go the other way. Hand on the thigh and then slowly twisting and opening up. Let both your shoulders drop down. And then slowly come on back up. Now, if it's appropriate for you to open the knees gently with the hands, do so. If that's not appropriate, just rest the hands on top of the thighs. So either way, I'm going to take the arms nice and wide, shoulders down on the back. I'm going to bring that right shoulder in between the chair legs there, or in toward the middle. And you're going to look over that right shoulder. And then exhale, other shoulder drops down, twisting and looking. We'll do a few more of these. So a little twist as the shoulder drops down, as you lean forward slightly and you're looking over the opposite shoulder. Come on back in, one more side, dropping that shoulder any amount as you lean forward, looking over. And then come all the way back up and into center. From here, extend the arms out so we get a big stretch in the extensors. Draw the shoulder blades down on the back. Then let's move little tiny circles, little tiny circles. Just warming up, waking everything up. Go ahead and flex the hands, flat, little tiny circles, and then reverse direction. We're keeping the knees wide here to keep this big opening in the hips. Go ahead and stop circling, give yourself a big hug. The hug I wish I could give all of you, all right? Go ahead and lean forward gently, and then we're gonna rock a little side to side. So you're really opening up your shoulder blades so they're stretching away from each other. And then just stretching the side body, feeling this gentle rock forward, and then slow side bend and stretch, and then rocking the other direction. One or two more times. And if you find a little something new in here, like, oh, that's fascinating, right? We want to cultivate more of that ability to stay present, even in this familiar body with that beginner's mind, or that sense of awe and wonder. So you might come back in and then inhale, draw the elbows up. Exhale, lower them down on a ha. Going to keep these knees nice and wide, and we're going to bring one arm all the way up and over. So your bottom elbow is on the thigh, top arm coming overhead. Y'all stay here. I'm just going to move my camera angle a little bit. Staying here, leaning over the side. And then inhale, come on up, second side. This is our modified side angle pose. Top arm coming overhead, stretching out the rib cage. So as opposed to leaning forward here, think about revolving your side body open towards sky. Long, full breath. And then inhale, slowly come back up and into center, both arms out. And now we're going to see about moving our side body. So we're going to move our side body over to the left. Come back into center. Move your side body over to the right. And center, exhaling. Anybody remember jazzercise? Coming back in. All these stretches that we did, coming back in. One last time. You might still do jazzercise with the amazing teacher here on Lopez. Last time. Come all the way back in, take the arms up, and then exhale through the mouth. Go ahead and heel toe those feet back together gently, and then circle around the whole spine, waken everything on up, and you might lean forward into your chair gently so that you've got some space behind you. Just circle all the way around, get that low back warmed up. And come all the way back into center. From here, we're going to roll down. So belly coming toward your thighs, chest, and then maybe upper chest as you lean forward into a little forward fold seated. And then inhale, slowly roll up gently. Take the shoulders up, bring the arms up. And hands coming in prayer at the heart. So in case you want a seated sun salutation, this is what a seated sun salutation looks like. You might bring your hands to your thighs, lift your heart up, lift your throat, gaze upward, and then exhale, hands on the thighs, come forward any amount. So low, medium, high, whatever you'd like into your variation of a forward fold. You can keep the head lifted if you've got osteoporosis, osteopenia. Exhale here, and then inhale, roll up the spine, rise all the way up, bring those hands all the way out and up overhead, and then exhale, hands in prayer at the heart. So we'll do one more of these seated sun salutations before we move to standing, and some of you might just stay seated and continue. So we're inhaling, lifting head, lifting heart. And then exhale as you fold forward. So we're getting a little bit of a massage for your belly and your thighs. You might be very gentle if you've got issues with the belly. I'm thinking of you, George. And then in, slowly roll it up. Bring the arms open, salute the sun, or at least the sun inside of us here because it's so rainy today. Exhale, bring hands in prayer at the heart. Nice. So some of you might want to remain seated and continue our sun salutation. Some of you might be ready to come to standing. And if so, let's go ahead and bring your chair forward so that you can have some spaciousness behind it. So standing behind your chair for your sun salutation. Maybe one hand or both hands starting in prayer at the heart. And let's just find that, catch hold of that memory that we started our meditation with, that moment of wonder or awe that was really inspiring to your heart, right? So we're doing this familiar thing that we've done often, but let's see if we can bring a little bit of that wonder into this familiar action. Beginner's mind. So inhale, bring the arms up, saluting that sun upward. And then exhale, bring your hands down to your chair or your thighs. We're going to inhale, lift the head, lift the heart, lean back, curl back gently. Exhale, come back into center and walk yourself back, coming into your downward facing dog pose. Or if you're seated, coming into your forward bend like we did before. And we'll stay here for 5 breaths. You're welcome to move in any direction that feels good to you, to stretch out. One more long, slow breath here. And then inhale, slowly walk yourself all the way back up and in. Fly the arms open, rise upward one more time. And then bring that beginner's mind, that joy and wonder of the childlike heart right back into the heart. This next time, let's go ahead and stretch out the arms. So whether you're standing or seated, stay here, draw your shoulder blades down and on your back. And take a moment and just twist over to the left. Inhale, come gently back into center. Exhale, twist over to the right. Inhale, come on back into center. Bring those arms all the way up. Exhale, bringing hands down to the chair. Inhale, lift head, lift heart, lean back, curl back gently. Exhale, walk yourself back into your downward dog. And then inhale slowly, bring yourself all the way back up and in. Fly the arms open, rise up. And exhale, hands in prayer at the heart. So I want to just show you what a little twisted dog pose variation looks like. People who have challenges with hips, please don't do this version if that is too much for your hip because you're getting a little bit of a twist in the hips. So it'll look like this, where you'll be in dog pose. One hand stays on the chair, other knee bends. So if my right hand is touching the chair, my right knee bends. My left hand comes to my left hip and I'm getting a little twist and opening here. I might stay here or I might bring myself up here. You can also have one hand on the thigh of the bent knee, right, as an option. To do this seated, you'll simply be here. You'll lean forward a little bit, opposite hand to opposite thigh, other hand to your hip. Then maybe your hand comes back behind you, toward the wall behind you, or it can even come up if that's interesting to you. Yeah, either one. So let's go ahead and fold that into our sun salutation, a little dog with a twist. Thinking of your cocktail parties, healers, and you guys offering people a little twist for their beverage. So here's a little twist for your sun salutation. Let's go ahead and inhale and bring your arms up. And exhale, bringing your hands down to the chair. Inhale, lean back, curl back gently. Exhale, walk yourself back into your downward dog. I'll just turn to the side so you can see me. So you're in your downward dog. You're going to bend your right knee, leave your right hand on the chair, bring your left hand to your left hip. The left leg is straight. You're going to begin twisting and opening and even perhaps turning your upper body towards sky. You might stay there or you might offer the top arm up. If you're seated, you're twisting opposite hand to opposite knee, and the other hand might stretch back behind you. Take one more breath. Exhale, bring both hands to the chair, straighten both legs, find your traditional downward dog. And then second side, bend your left knee, leave your left hand at the chair, bring your right hand to your right hip, begin twisting, maybe even offer up that top arm. Or if you're seated, twisting the opposite direction. Beautiful, nice this movie. Take one more full breath here. Exhale, bring both hands to the chair, straighten both legs, fold forward. And then inhale slowly, walking yourself all the way back up and in. Fly the arms open. And exhale, hands coming back to the chair. Go ahead and turn that chair around. We're going to do some standing cat-cow, but you can also do this seated. So if you're seated, I'll show you from the side. You're going to sit toward the end of your seat, hold onto your knees, and you'll be coming back into cat pose, and you'll be coming forward into cow pose. People who are comfortable standing and folding forward, place hands on your chair. Let's go ahead and all do it together. Feet open, hip width apart, finding this tabletop position. And then we'll inhale, lift head, lift tail. And then exhale, arch the spine, come into your cat pose. Inhale, lifting up cow pose, lift head, lift tail. Exhale, set the belly button toward the spine, round the spine, bring head toward your tail. Try this 3 more times at your own rate. So inhaling as you lift the head and tail. Exhaling as you draw head and tail toward each other. 2 more times, big slow breath. Inhaling. And exhaling. 1 more time, inhale. And exhaling. Come all the way back into center, and now the option is to do a little twist. So again, if you're seated, you're going to come back to that opposite hand to opposite knee. If you are here in tabletop, bring your right hand into the middle of your chair and your left hand to your left hip. This should feel familiar, we just did it. If you liked that twist with your hips, you'll bend your right knee so you can get a little bit more twist as you open up. You can also do this with straight legs, so it keeps the hips a little more stabilized and just the upper body is rotating. You can stay here, or that top hand comes off of your hip and rises up towards sky. Your choice. Breathing and opening. If you're seated, opposite hand to opposite knee. Opposite hand to opposite knee. So your right hand comes to your left knee. Other hand comes back behind you. There you go. One more full breath here. Exhale, go ahead and bring both hands into center. If you were seated, just bring both hands to your lap, and then we'll switch sides. So bending, putting the left hand in the middle of the mat, perhaps bending the left knee, beginning to twist. Maybe top arm opens. If you are seated, opposite hand to opposite knee, other hand comes back behind you or stretches upward, your choice. Breathe, one more full cycle of breath here. And then exhale, slowly come all the way back into center. Let's walk back, perhaps downward dog, or if you're seated, go ahead and just fold forward into your variation of a forward fold in your chair. Take some long, slow breaths here. And then inhale slowly, walk your feet back forward towards your chair, and let's roll up the spine one vertebra at a time. Slowly roll the shoulders back and finish our sun salutation by letting the arms rise up. And the hands come back in prayer at the heart. Nicely done. From seated or standing, let's just do a little roll of the hip one more time. We did this in our warm-up when we were seated, so you can continue to do that seated here or take it around. You can also get it real big if you want to get real wild with your hips. And come back into center. Last side, just rolling around that knee, that hip, just loosening everything up. Other side, or other direction is what I mean. And if you feel comfortable to shake a leg, well, maybe one hand holding onto the chair, we could shake out a foot. You can certainly do this seated, come down to seated and just shake out of the foot, shake a leg. And then we'll just shake out the other leg. Just getting some added blood flow, circulation into that leg, shaking it out. Go ahead and come on back into center and let's head back for the chair. So if you want to move through chair pose, Utkatasana, so sitting down halfway like we often practice, except, oh no, we're going to stand back up. Try it again. Sitting down, coming halfway. No. Let's go ahead and stand back up. Last time, thinking of all those pranks that 10-year-olds used to play on each other, right? And then inhale, come on up. This last time, let's go ahead and sit down and hover, draw knees in toward each other, and then go ahead and find your seat and come all the way down. Nicely done. Beautifully done. All right, let's do a little bit of work for shoulders today. So we're going to take that right arm straight out, and then take your left hand and bring it right to the back of your tricep, and just take that right arm across the body. Get a little stretch here. One more big slow stretch as that left shoulder descends down. And then let's come back into center. You're still holding on to that tricep, and this time bring the arm up. See if you can make sort of this number 4 shape overhead. Some people might want to drop that hand down behind your back, and that left hand is holding onto your right elbow. Some people might have the hand in front of your face, or halfway up, or maybe all the way up and behind you. Please find the place that is most comfortable for your shoulders and triceps. Again, shoulders rolling down and on the back. And if you want a lot of added intensity for the pose, you can come into a gentle side bend, where you're side bending away from that elbow we're stretching. Inhale, come on back into center. Let's fly both arms up. Exhale with a big open mouth. Second side, last side, stretch out that left arm. Bring that left arm across your body, holding on with that right hand. Left shoulder down and on your back. One more deep breath into this whole outside of the arm here that should be getting a good stretch with that straight arm. And then let's guide the hand back into center. Take it up any amount, halfway, 3/4 of the way, all the way up. That big number 4 upside down shape. Maybe dropping that left hand down behind your heart, holding onto your right hand again, wherever you can reach. The hands might be in front of you, halfway, or all the way up. Just find the place that feels good. Or if none of it feels good, find the place where you can at least breathe. If you want that added intensity, let's come over. Yeah, side bending to the right. Inhale, come all the way up, bring both arms up. Exhale on a ha. Let's roll shoulders. Let's do a little eagle arm. So starting with your eagle wingspan, getting the wings really wide, bending through the elbows, and then bringing that left elbow on top of the right elbow. Perhaps some of you might just bring your hands together and your elbows together. That's fine also. You can spiral them around, do so. For eagle pose, Garudasana. We're going to inhale, lift elbows up. Exhale, bring them on down. Try that several more times. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower down. Twice more. Inhale and lift. Exhale, come on down. One more time. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower down. Have your hands wrapped around your shoulder heads. We're going to lean forward one more time like we did when we opened, and just give a little rock side to side, stretching out the whole back body. Maybe your back body is getting a little stretch. Mine is. Imagining all of the people who you have been waiting to hug. Someday, the day of the endless hug, we will hug each other again. Come on back into center. Bring those elbows up like we're going to take off this virus and just exhale. Shake it out. Shaking it off. Last side. Open out those arms. This time bending elbows and right elbow on top of the left. Spiraling the hands around. Let's inhale. Lift elbows up any amount. Exhale, lower them on down. Try 2 or 3 more. Inhale as you lift. Exhale as you come down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, gently lower elbows. One more time. Inhale, lift. Exhale, come on down. Wrap your hands around as far as they'll go towards your shoulder heads. Give yourself a little forward fold. One more time, that endless hug. All the people who you've been waiting to hug and will in the future. One more full breath here. And then come on back into center. Bring those elbows up. Exhale. Nicely done. I'm going to scoot a little closer. We're going to do some less common yoga poses for our face and our mouth and our jaws. So we're going to start with a seated lion's pose. So perfect for a recorded class, right? Because we get to look real silly. So you're going to inhale and then open your eyes really big, lean forward, stick out your tongue and roar. Come on back into center. I'm going to do that 3 more times. Regaining your fierceness. I have one of my 10-year-olds who's drawn herself as a lion with a dagger. She is fierce, and this is lion's pose. So just remembering that fierceness, right? Taking a deep breath in, and then fierce. This is also really good for keeping the throat healthy, the eyes healthy, right? Helping stretch out all the muscles of the mouth. You might want to swallow a few times if your throat gets dry. And then let's do it again. Inhale. Exhale. Simbasana, this is called in Sanskrit. Simba means lion in Sanskrit. One last time, Simbasana, big inhale, reclaiming your fierceness, and let's come all the way back into center, find that feline repose. Take a few fingers and just roll out your jaw. Give your jaw a little massage. Maybe get first fingers into that little space but behind the ears here where the jaw meets the ears. A little release point. Rolling around. Taking and letting the hands come all the way down the jaw. Let your jaw be relaxed. One more time, starting it right at that hinge of the jaw. And bring it all the way down. Excuse me, we're going to do a little bit for sinuses. So you might take first two fingers and bring them into your sinuses. I don't know if, like me, your allergies have been a little alive lately with all the cut grass. So we're just going to keep all these sinus passages healthy. I'm going to take those first two fingers and slide them along the top of the cheekbone, following that sinus cavity. Bring it all the way up to the temple and give your temple a massage. I'm going to do that one more time. So coming right to the base of the nose there, right after the flare of the nostril, and giving a little roll around. And then following the top of the cheekbone there, sinus cavity as it comes all the way out and empties toward the temples, giving the temples a little roll. And let's give a little massage here for the, I like to take my pointer finger and bring it right up into where the bridge of my nose meets my forehead, where there's another little sinus release point. And then taking maybe the first finger, maybe the first two fingers, following just above the eyebrow. Again, following that sinus cavity as you slowly come out and it empties out the temples. I'm thinking of my mom right now. She used to do this massage, face massage for me when my sinuses were clogged as a child. So one more time coming up. And then again, rolling open across the brow point, giving a little massage. And let's give a whole scalp massage here. So getting your fingers into your hair or onto your scalp, giving a big massage here, finding any points in your scalp that feel like they might need a little opening. In the Ayurvedic system, there's a lot of points that are called marma points that are on the top of the head. So as you move around with your scalp, you might feel some of those marma points. And again, if you found one that feels particularly good, you might give it a little bit more attention, more massage. I'm at the back of my skull here at my occiput where it feels really sort of tight and compressed, so I'm using that a little bit more. And then giving your face just a little dance, like little soft raindrops, little fingers coming down. Go ahead and take it down the neck, and then let's do just our little tapping. Tapping all the way down, borrowing from our Chinese medicine friends, bringing that up just to help increase circulation. We're going to tap across the front of the chest. It's supposed to help also support a healthy immune system here. Keeping that circulation moving across the chest. Let's take it down the chest, down the belly, down the thighs. You might come all the way down towards your feet, up the inner thighs, down to your back. And all the way up. And one more time, maybe all the way up the head. And shaking it on out. From here, we're going to move into our eye stretches, right, to help strengthen the muscles of the eyes. So you're imagining like the biggest possible clock, right? So the biggest circumference that your eyes can possibly reach and still focus. And go ahead and look up toward 12 o'clock. Look over toward 1, 2, 3, 4, down to 5, down to 6, 7, over to 8, 9, 10, all the way up to 11. When you get to 12, go ahead and relax your eyes, rub your hands together, make a lot of heat, build up a lot of heat. And then once you have a lot of heat in your palms, just very gently rest them over the eyes, but without pushing down into the eyeball. Just let that heat transfer from your hands into the muscles of the eyes. And then slowly releasing the hands back into the lap. You might blink the eyes several times if they take a moment to refocus, letting them refocus again. You're going to do that big circle around the clock, but this time going backwards. So you might slowly look up toward 12 o'clock. Look over to 11, 10, 9, 8, down towards 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, up to 2, 1, and then coming all the way up. And then slowly softening the eyes one more time. Rub the hands together, make a lot of heat in the hands. A lot of heat. And then again, hands resting very gently, transferring the heat from your hands to your eye muscles. Let your eyes relax fully. And last thing for the eyes, slowly blink and open the eyes, regain focus. This time you're going to lace your hands together and bring your thumbs up so that you can see your thumbs in front of you. This is for the muscles that help focus the eyes. My dad recently got cataract surgery and he is so elated because suddenly the world is new and fresh again to him and he can see well. So in case you've had that experience, you're focusing on your thumbnails, and you're going to slowly take the thumbnails away from you, pushing them out. And you want to keep focusing the eyes on the thumbnails, and then slowly begin to bend your elbows, draw the thumbnails in toward your nose. Keep focusing the eyes, so move as slowly as you need to move so that those eye muscles can keep up. You'll get to a point when your eyes will start to cross, and go ahead and stop there. And then slowly start taking the thumbs away again, moving as slowly as you need to for the eyes to focus. And when you're complete, go ahead and rub the hands together one last time. Really rub them strong, 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 strong. And then bring heels of the hands over the eyes. Rest the eyes. And then slowly release the hands down. This is a time for Shavasana, so you might find your way to your back if you are reclining in Shavasana. If you're doing seated Shavasana, you'll just stay seated right where you are. Go ahead and soften or close your freshly worked eyes. Come back to your breath. And come back to that mindset of wonder and curiosity at a new world. I encourage you that as you relax your body, to do so from that lens of wonder. Find the places that can really relax. And even find the places that feel really good. that are pain-free and open. And just inhabit those areas of pleasure for a little while. Taking some long, slow breaths. We'll stay here. Maybe one more long, slow cycle of breath for yourself. I want to invite you into the joy of your breath, to enjoying your inhale and enjoying your exhale. Again, with that wonder of beginner's mind. And before you exit Shavasana, I'd love to plant the seed for you to continue to take this beginner's mind with you into your day. So maybe there's a new moment of inspiration as you walk out into the day, or as you notice the summer blossoms, or the way the wind touches your skin. Simple things. The specific taste of the tea in your cup. And I invite you to let the seed continue to be nourished and grow in you, this beginner's mind that is focused around wonder and resilience and hope. If you are reclining, go ahead and gently roll to one side. If you are seated, feel free to slowly bring the hands in prayer over your heart. And as always, my friends, it is a profound honor to practice with you and have you practice with each other. Namaste. And for those of you who are interested, you're welcome to stay around for 2 more minutes and hear Billy Collins, the poet himself. Since I have the technological ability to share my screen with you, I thought I'd share the poet himself reading you his poem called Lanyard, which will remind you perhaps of days gone by at summer camp. So here we go for that.
For a TV, the world is thinking. I'm going to read a poem, a few more, poem about what American children tend to do in the summer. Often, it's called The Lanyard. And it's a poem, I guess with it, you know, what most poets tend to do, which is if you want to write something, write about a topic that's rather large, you choose kind of an image as a point of entry, rather than taking on the topic in a frontal way. So, The Lanyard. The other day, as I was ricocheting slowly off the pale blue walls of this room, bouncing from typewriter to piano, from bookshelf to an envelope lying on the floor. I found myself in the L section of the dictionary where my eyes fell upon the word lanyard. No cookie nibbled by a French novelist could send one more suddenly into the past, a past where I sat at a workbench at a camp by a deep Adirondack lake, learning how to braid thin plastic strips into a lanyard, a gift for my mother. I had never seen anyone use a lanyard or wear one if that's what you did with them, but that did not keep me from crossing strand over strand again and again until I had made a boxy red and white lanyard for my mother. She gave me life and milk from her breasts, and I gave her a lanyard. She nursed me in many a sick room, lifted teaspoons of medicine to my lips, set cold face cloths on my forehead, and then led me out into the airy light and taught me to walk, swim, and I in turn presented her with a lanyard. Here are thousands of meals, she said, and here is clothing and a good education. And here is your lanyard, I replied, which I made with a little help from a counselor. Here is a breathing body and a beating heart, strong legs, bones, and teeth, and 2 clear eyes to read the world, she whispered. And here, I said, is the lanyard I made at camp. And here, I wish to say to her now, is a smaller gift, not the archaic truth that you can never repay your mother, but the rueful admission that when she took the 2-tone lanyard from my hands, I was as sure as a boy could be that this useless, worthless thing I wove out of boredom would be enough to make us even.
Whew. That's a great poem.
Isn't that a great poem? So you're welcome to unmute yourself. I will end our recording here.